Very important to prune your tree. Otherwise, it crowd the others. Anziana ko des lawn boy. You know you to clean up man.
What is that, fever grass?
No, that's lawn grow big so. All of a sudden, that the rain came.
Mm-hmm.
The grass from brown to green, from from lawn, nothing lawn, brown leaves, to beautiful green leaves. So, so I clean it up before you cut the lawn.
Okay, Louise, I want to ask you after all of this trailing of you,
You know
you enjoy gardening?
You know you enjoy you like the trail, man.
I trail you from day one. But tell me something about gardening. What does gardening do for you?
Well, gardening is very relaxing. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
I
Is that why you put a hammock here?
I you know, it says that you need to be able to learn a language.
Mm-hmm.
I started with a Spanish book,
Mm-hmm.
and after the first chapter, I gave up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's terrible to think that our daughter was a Spanish teacher, and for years she lived with us and was teaching, and I never got past uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve.
Yeah.
And that's my little 4-year-old granddaughter counting up to 20 and so. But I'm not one for languages. Well, don't talk about it. See, don't play an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Well, boy, the only thing I could play an instrument is
Sorry?
now I could whistle. You know why I learned to whistle? Because I had 2 older brothers than me, and they used to whistle, and I used to learn how to whistle. And I remember Tantan. Tantan will be quarreling with me and say, "Girls not supposed to whistle." But the only instrument I could play is whistle. If the harmonica, I'm not able to do it, although I can whistle. But I even play that. And one would think that if you could whistle, you should be able to play the harmonica. So playing an instrument is out of the question. English, Spanish, 1,000 words. English, Espanol. I don't know I could go past. Your neck is your cuello. Face, cara. Cheek. I don't know, man. I give up on this. Cintura, waist. I mean, it couldn't be easier in this book, eh? But that's not my thing. I like to talk. I like to talk English and dialect. No, but it's really terrible because to think of somebody who likes to travel. I remember when we would go to Venezuela to visit our daughter. I used to talk English with a Spanish accent. But the strange thing is, I could make so much of drama when I'm talking it that the people used to understand what I'm saying. So I got by. So anyway, but really gardening, I found myself in gardening after I retired, which is 15 years now, going on 15 years since I'm retired. I was 57, and she's 13. 14 years now, I have retired. I took early retirement. And I discovered that gardening, I really enjoy gardening. And I do have a green thumb without, making too much effort. But I do really like working in the garden.
Do you find gardening is similar to an exercise in marriage?
Yes, as the plaque said, marriage is
like a garden.
It's like a garden. Mm-hmm. You tend to it every day, just as how you have to attend to the plants. So every morning, I pick away at yellow leaves, dry leaves. Well, of course, some of it has got out of hand because of the severe dry season. But when you remove the dry leaves from the plants look so fresh. And to me, when in marriage, if every day we will take time and treat marriage like a garden, like for instance, removing of dry leaves, to me is like removing things that is obstructing the growth and the loveliness of the plant. Because a plant could be very beautiful, but because there are a lot of dry leaves on it, or yellow leaves, or discolored leaves, this plant look not cared for. So in marriage, there are things that we need to do to spruce up how we look, how we treat each other, and putting away of things, removing things that can take away the appearance and the beauty of the marriage. There are times too when, well, not in the dry season, but when it starts to rain, plants start to get too big, and you have to cut away some of the branches because it is interfering with the growth of the other plant. So you need to cut it back because one plant is obstructing the other one. It come like the other one is living in the shadow of the other plant. And to me, when I liken that to marriage, is that everyone is an individual and one should not crowd the other one. Yes, we enjoy doing stuff together with our spouse, and we're happy to be with each other, but we have to cut back sometime because people need their space. One need their space, and even you don't have to be in the shadow of the person. You are you, and the person is themselves. You don't try to crowd them, to make them into what you want to make them into. So to me, that's when you cut back branches, cutting back. Weeding too, you weed out things, you weed the garden, you remove weeds from the lawn. I tend to do that a lot when I see wild weeds taking over. And that to me is like a spiritual lesson, however. When we weed, to me, when we remove weeds from our lawn or even around our plants, when you remove weed, it's like removing evil thoughts from your heart. I really think that if you remove weeds ever so often, your lawn is going to flourish and the weed will die. And the spiritual lesson in that to me is removing things from your heart, because out of the issues of the heart, out of the issues of the heart. So when you remove weeds, when you remove things from your heart, you have a soft heart, a clean heart, and therefore that's a spiritual lesson to me. Remove weeds, things that can obstruct the other good things from flourishing. Yeah, and your plants do prosper when you take care of them. Just as how a marriage can prosper. Taking care of each other, removing things that are hindrances, and really it's a daily exercise, working with relationships is a daily thing because each day brings something new, some other different experience. No matter how long you live in a marriage, there are times when something comes up and it's like the first time. So you have to nip things in the bud early o'clock.
I saw you last night by yourself, of course. I was doing something else at the time. And you were putting some fertilizer to all the plants. How do you relate fertilizer to marriage?
Well, fertilizer is to me like the love. When you fertilize, and it all, a lot of things add up. By removing the weeds, by stirring up the, stirring up around the plants, digging around it before you put in the fertilizers and the manure, is like all a combination of love. And love is really like the, in the, when we put fertilizers and manure and so around our plant, it's like nourishment for the plant. Because you can take all the care, remove the dry leaves and different things, but the root needs to be fed. And the root is, that's the real matter there, the root matter of things. And if you have that strong love, that's like the root matter. So nurturing the root and taking care of the root and put it in the necessary nourishment. It's like the little things you will do in marriage. The little things that, it doesn't have to be big things, The little things like, ensuring your partner, if they're not well, ensure that they take their medication, because sometimes the person may not be in the mood to take medication, and you say, well, it's important, and you go get it and give it to them, because sometimes you need a little tender loving care. So different ways, tender loving care. During the day, it's hot, you take a glass of water, the person cutting the lawn, you give them a drink, which when I'm working in the yard, you would normally bring a drink for me, and vice versa. Sometimes I'm too busy and I don't remember. But before the day is out, you will get it.
So you find that when you tend to your plants, it's a soothing effect on your whole
very
equilibrium,
relaxing.
everything, huh?
Yeah. Seeing about plants is very relaxing because you are taken up with nurturing the plant. And you talk to your plant, and the plant, they say, I've often heard people say, talk to your plants and they do better.
You proven that?
Yes, I'll tell them, I love you. Somebody says when they threaten their plants, their fruit tree, the fruit tree will bear. But I never threaten any plants. I think tender loving care is much more important than threatening.
Yes, very good.
You know what I mean? When we are moved by love and behave with love and tenderness, you get a better results than a bullying of the person and demanding.
Very true, very true.
Because one of the things, like I often, I know that, like I would say to you, Nancy, I want to go to Carcass this weekend. And at the moment, maybe the timing was wrong, and you say, I'm too tired, yes, I don't think I could make that long drive. And I will back off, and I say, okay. And before the day that I wanted to go, you would say, okay, we'll go down to Carcass tomorrow, And I think that over the years, that worked, Sometimes to be too aggressive and fighting down, fighting down somebody, you bring out the worst in them, And I feel that as part of our successful marriage is that even when times when you are not willing to do something or, not like doing things, but more like pleasure things. I want to go to the beach, or I want to go, and I would say, Lancy, I'd like to go to the beach. And you say, I don't think I could make it. My back hurts. And I back off. Your back hurt and I back off.
Right.
And you will come around without me demanding and say, Louise, okay, in the morning, I got up this morning feeling okay, let's go. But a lot of times people demand and they're aggressive about it, and you don't back off. You know, really and truly, it takes two to make a row. You know, it takes two to make a row, and if this timing is a very important thing. When you will want to talk about something, but you don't talk about something and demand, let us talk now. The person could be tired, it's not the mood, and it's going to get out of hand. So it's important timing. Anything that can work out into be a war, back off and wait. Because we need communication. We need to discuss things. We need to communicate. We don't need to change anyone to how we want them. You grew up in a home that, you know, is different. Cultures are different. People do things differently. The result is the same. So you don't demand that it has to be done the way I want you to do. You know, I might hang the curtains half and half. You may feel it will be better the other way around, but it will dry the same way. It will dry the same way. So it's not, you have to do it the way I want it. In marriage, it is not about you having 100%. You know what I mean? So I really believe in, over the years, accepting your partner once what they're doing is not detrimental. You accept that we're different. We grew up differently. You know, we do things differently in our background, in our home, and one doesn't. This fly disgusting. You know, and
Don't let the little things disturb you.
that's true. So really, Lancelot, you have to, it's a daily thing you work on. It's a daily thing.
Well, I want to tell you, Louise, they say that really, when you're doing, there are three things you should really do. You should really learn a foreign language, which
Yes.
you're going to restart.
Which I have to start back.
And you must learn to play an instrument. And you must also, you know,
Have a hobby.
have a hobby, right?
Yes.
So while I close this off, before I close this off rather, give me one more tune from the harmonica.
No, man, I can't. You play the harmonica.
No. I couldn't possibly play and tape you at the same time. So
Well, I could tape you.
No. That's gonna really be
No,
chaotic.
man, this is ridiculous. This is as terrible as you wrote. I did. I done.
One note, and I will end with that.
No, but Lancy.
Right, one note.
What do you want me to play?
Play goodbye, goodbye, senor.